Anna, could you please read the first question?
Okay. Does it get cold where you are from?
Good. So, what's the answer? Does it get cold in Brazil?
It depends on the region. In the south of Brazil, yes. But in the southwest, in the north, and in the northwest, no.
Okay, and you're in the Northwest?
I am the southwest. Rarely,
Southwest.
rarely it gets cold.
Okay, so how cold does it get? Like lots of snow or?
No, no, it never snows. Just in the south of Brazil, once
Okay.
in a blue moon, it snows.
Okay. But you are in the Southwest, you said?
Yes,
Okay, so it
in
doesn't get as cold there as it does in the South.
no, it's sunny all year long.
Okay, that's good. So how cold does it get where you're from?
My gosh, um, it's when it sorry, I am hoarse today.
It's okay.
When it gets cold, it's about 14 Celsius degree.
Wow, okay. That's
And
pretty
not
cold.
it never gets more cold, no colder than it.
Okay, so that's pretty warm actually. So that's nice. Okay, so it doesn't really get cold where you are, so that's pretty nice. What about you, Ksenia?
I'm from Russia, so we have a terrible winter.
Yeah.
So I think in the middle winter temperature it's about minus 20, 24 Celsius.
Wow, that's pretty cold. Okay. Hi, Anton.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good as always.
As always, good. So we were asking each other a question. How cold does it get where you are from?
Uh, you mean an extremal point or average temperature?
It doesn't matter, whatever you want to say.
Uh, well, in average it's 25,
In the
and
winter time?
in the winter time, and extremal that I experience it is minus 47.
Wow.
But it
That's
just
cool.
just very anomalous temperature.
Okay, that's a big range from negative 47 to, what did you say, 25?
From 25 to 47.
Wow, okay, so you have a big range. So it still gets pretty cold there. Okay, so you've all, maybe, I don't know if Anna, maybe you've traveled during the winter time, but you've all experienced pretty cold winters. Um, Ksenia, could you read the second question?
What is the coldest place you've been?
Good. So, what do you think, Ksenia? What's the coldest place you've been before? Probably
Mm,
Russia, right?
yes, Russia, you're right.
um, okay, excellent. And what part of Russia are you from?
Nowadays I live in Central, but I was born in Siberia.
Oh, okay, good. So maybe you can add something to our story. Anton, what about you?
Uh, I was in Norilsk. It's a no, 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 northern Siberian city. I
Okay.
think it's most
Ro-
cold place where
Okay. At least you remember being cold. Okay, good. And what about you, Anna?
Well, it was in the south of Brazil. Um, it was about 3 Celsius degrees Celsius degrees.
Uh, good. Okay. So still not too bad, but still under freezing point. Okay. Um, have you experienced snow before?
No, I have never seen snow in my life.
Wow. Well, this story will definitely open up your eyes to some stuff relating to snow, at the very least. Just remember when we say degrees, we can say the negative first. So -3 degrees Celsius.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, and who's next? Anton, could you read the last question, please?
what is frostbite?
So what do you think, Anton? What is frostbite?
Well, I actually got frostbite.
You did. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I have had that experience.
Wow. Where?
Where I live, obviously.
Okay, so it gets really cold where you live right now. Okay. And did you get it on your hands or on your face?
On my fingers.
Oh my gosh, that's so scary. I'm sure you never leave the house without your gloves now, huh?
Uh,
Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Um, well, if you're comfortable with it, would you mind explaining to Anna and Ksenia what that is?
uh, well, it's when the extremal cold temperature harm your skin very very badly.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Anna, have you ever heard of this?
Yes, I heard because I watched I watched a documentary
Mm-hmm.
called uh, I Survive or something
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
And uh, there 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 were a couple of friends who were lost in in the mountains where it
Mm-hmm.
was snowing, and then uh, the their feet get really cold, and one of them took off took off his boat boot his boot,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and he he had it, and then it became worse, and
Mm.
he had gangrene.
Oh, okay, yeah,
They
gangrene.
were, yes, gangrene. They were rescued, but he had to amputate his toes.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
Yes,
Well, Anton, I hope that you still have all your fingers, because that's really scary.
Yes, I have all my fingers.
Good, good. I'm glad. Ksenia, have you heard of frostbite before?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Have you ever seen it or known someone that's had it?
No, I don't think, but we have a special subject in our school, and the teacher uh, study us how to save if you have this kind of injury and what you
Oh.
have to do.
Oh, what do you have to do if you remember?
Okay, when you have frostbite, you shouldn't put your if you have if your arm is injured,
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't put it in warm water or something. You just should. Oh my God, I don't know how to explain. You should take some piece of cloth
Mm-hmm.
and mm, 1 second, I say you this word. And rub your skin.
Good, wrap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah, so it sounds like you're all pretty familiar with it, but it's actually where the skin and the tissue just below the skin freeze due to the cold or extreme cold, freezing temperatures outside. So this can happen to a lot of people who aren't prepared for the winter outside and they feel fine, and then they realize later that their hands are red or black from being frozen. I avoided putting any pictures on the slide of what that looks like, so if you're curious, you can Google that later because they are very graphic. And it's a very serious injury. It's very rare, as you know, not it's not in a lot of people are usually prepared for the cold, or they're not in the cold for long periods of time, but for people that are, it can be common for them. Okay, so I'm glad that, Anton, your hands are okay. That's really scary. But you're here with us now, so that's great. And you have all your fingers and all your toes, so that's wonderful. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the reading. The bolded words I have, just to highlight some things that I thought were important, um, or that I thought we should go over understanding. Um, let's see. Ksenia, could you read first?
Yes, it was only minus 28 degrees Celsius when we landed in Irkutsk, but that was cold enough to make breathing an effort. The air felt like ice. As I scraped the back of my throat, 5 minutes later I needed a second pair of gloves and put my scarf tie over my nose and mouth. Uh, I was obviously a beginner at this.
Good. Good pace. Try this word one more time.
Mouse.
Good. So try less saying an S sound, because it sounds like you're saying mouths. Try this th.
Mouth.
Good. Excellent. Yeah. All right. So, Ksenia, what's going on in just this short paragraph?
It experience of some man who landed in Russia, Irkutsk, and he describes this emotion of the weather in this city. It was very cold.
Good, good. He says the air felt like ice, so we have a good simile there. Okay, let's see. Anton, will you go ahead next?
I'm sorry I didn't follow. Which one?
So Ksenia just read this. Did you follow that? The first paragraph?
Okay. Okay, and now I. Okay, no problem. At the petrol station, Mikhail, the attendant, laughed when he asked if he wasn't freezing. He'd spent the whole day outside with no more than his fur hat and a sheepskin coat for warmth. It was mid mid-afternoon, and icicles were hang, hanging from his mustache like Dracula's fangs. He said he never drank to stay warm, unlike many others.
Good. Excellent. Same thing here. Can you try this word one more time?
Warmth.
Good. Yeah. So it sounded like you had an S sound at the end, but just try and stick with that th sound. Good. And then one more. This word.
Fur.
Close. We just want to say fur. So it kind of looks like pronounced like that. Fur.
Fur.
Good.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay, so we have another great simile here. Icicles were hanging from his mustache like Dracula's fangs. So if you can imagine Dracula's fangs from his mouth, that's kind of how the icicles were hanging from this man's mustache. So what's going on in this couple sentences, Anton?
Exactly what is written.
Yeah, what's written there? What's going on in your own words? Can you tell me in a sentence what's happening?
Uh, I'm sorry, I don't want to sing today.
Don't want to think today. Okay, well, I hope that you will be thinking in this class because it's going to involve some thinking. But when you're ready to think, just go ahead and tell me, and you can join us in our discussion. Let's see. Anna, can you tell me what's going on in this paragraph in a sentence or two?
Okay. When they were at the petrol station, um, the attendant laughed when they asked if he wasn't freezing,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because they were freezing,
Mm-hmm.
and he was looking like a Dracula
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
because
of
he was
the
so
ice,
cold. Mm-hmm.
because of the ice in his mustache.
Mm-hmm. Good, yeah. Excellent. So we met Mikhail, who is the attendant at the gas station, or the petrol station, and they all are surprised by his icicles on his face, right? He must be freezing. He didn't have anything besides his coat and his hat, which didn't seem like enough, and he doesn't drink to stay warm, unlike a lot of the other people in this town. They drink alcohol to stay warm. Let's take a look at these similes and images. All right, so I kind of put what I thought looked like the simile. So we have Dracula on the bottom, and what I thought this man probably looks like on the top, with icicles hanging down like fangs. What do you guys think? Do you think that's probably a good image to describe that?
Maybe.
I've seen people like this in Boston in the winter, so it's definitely bringing back memories of winter. Okay. Let's see. Anna, go ahead.
Okay, vodka. There is a belief in Siberia that enough vodka will insulate you from the cold. It's been proved tragically wrong in the past few weeks. Dozens of bodies of the homeless or men walking drunkenly back from the pub were hauled,
Good. Hold.
hauled, hauled out of the snowdrifts, frozen or so badly frostbitten that many will never walk again.
Oh my goodness. So, let's see. What do they say about vodka here, Anna? What's going on? Is it a good thing or not a good thing?
It's not a good thing.
Not a good thing to keep you warm, apparently. Why is that?
Why?
Hmm.
Um, because um, they they get drunk,
Hmm.
and they can they could do wrong things, and it would be worse.
Exactly, yeah.
What does hold mean?
Oh, hauled means they were like pulled or dragged. So that means that they, kind of fell asleep or fell unconscious on their walks home at night in the snow and were found in the morning and were hauled out or pulled out of these snow drifts. So they, passed out in the cold and so were, frozen or frostbitten when they were found. So it showed that uh, maybe it insulates you from the cold, but if you can't get home, walking home, then it's probably not a good thing. Awesome. Questions on this before we move on?
Hauled out means passed out, passed
No. Hauled out means like pulled out.
pulled out.
So if you're stuck in a snowdrift, if you're stuck in the snow, someone can haul you out. That means pull
Oh,
you out.
okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So don't walk drunkenly home in the snow. All right. Ksenia, go ahead.
The local hospital in Irkutsk is overwhelmed. Ironically, it's the burns unit that's taken all the frostbite victims, 200 of them in just 2 weeks in one town. Even here, icicles are hanging down on the inside of the windows, though the heating is on full power. The doctor was too busy performing amputations to talk to us.
Thank you, Ksenia. So, Ksenia, what unit at the hospital is taking the frostbite victims?
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
Sure. What unit at the hospital is taking the frostbite victims?
Amputation?
Not amputation. Look at the top, maybe the third line down. It says, ironically,
It's the burns?
good, yeah, the burn unit. So it's exactly the
What does
opposite.
mean burn unit?
Oh, so when you have a burn, it's actually when your skin is too hot or you put your hand in a fire, for example, you get a burn. And I think burns are treated similarly as frostbite, so maybe that's why. Or just because they have too many frostbite victims, that's why they're at the burn unit. But it says ironically, meaning kind of funny enough, that these frostbite victims are being taken to the burn unit. So the burn is when your hand or your skin hits something very hot, whereas frostbite is obviously when your hand or your skin hits something very cold. So it's actually kind of two opposite injuries, but the frostbite victims are being taken to the burn unit. Good. And let's see. Anton, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay, good. Um, so how many frostbite victims were there in just the 2 weeks at the hospital?
Well, as I see here only one number, I suppose it's 200.
Yeah, 200. That's a lot, right? In just 2 weeks. And Anna, how come the doctor couldn't talk to them? What was he busy doing?
He was performing amputations.
Yeah. So, who knows what ironically means? I have that word bolded here just in case it's new.
It means the opposite. What? My gosh, I don't know how to explain better.
Yeah, you're right. You're on the right track. Um, it means happening in the opposite way that's expected. So ironically, the frostbite victims are at the burn unit, which means that's ironic because of what I explained before, right? You would think frostbite victims would be somewhere where they are helping with frostbite, but they're actually going to a place where they're dealing with burns when your skin is too hot, not when your skin is too cold. So that's ironic. Can someone else give me an example of something ironic?
Maybe he was thinking all life that his life ending in a great place, but ironically, he died in a poorness.
Yeah, good. Great example, right? Opposite of something that's expected. Good. Any other examples? Thank you, Ksenia.
Okay, the story that I told you yesterday, the boy who was skeptical. I wrong.
The boy that was what?
Oh my gosh, who he didn't believe in anything. Mm, skeptical.
Magical?
Teacher, help me out.
Magical?
No, who doesn't believe in anything without proof?
Okay.
Set, set,
Theoretical?
skeptical. Oh my gosh, I will type.
Theoretical?
No, I am typing.
Okay.
Uh,
Skeptical.
Thank you. Skeptical. The boy who was skeptical,
Mm-hmm.
ironically found a magic wand and had the power to make magic.
Yeah, great example. Yeah, the opposite of what's expected happens. Good. Anton, can you think of any examples of ironic or irony?
No, I can't think at all.
Okay, that's okay. Um, let's see if I can think of one. Oh, if you are a cop, a policeman, and you get pulled over for speeding, that's ironic. Because normally you'd be the one getting people pulled over, but you're the one getting pulled over. So that's the opposite of what's expected. Also, do you all remember the ship, the Titanic?
Yes.
A lot of
Yes.
people say that that is an ironic story because it was known as the unsinkable ship. However, of course, we all know that the ship actually did sink. So that is an ironic story. Awesome. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see. Ksenia, what's the other bolded word here?
Amputation.
Good. What is amputations?
It's when someone cut part of arms, legs, or whole arms, legs.
Yes. So when someone has to have their limb surgically removed or cut off due to an injury. Good. All right, let's continue with our reading. All right, Anton, are you up for it?
Okay.
Awesome, go ahead.
Okay. But we could near. But we could.
Can you start with the title?
Shortages.
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 Good. All right, continue.
But we could hear the screams from the operating room. They'd run out of anesthetic
Good.
after performing 60 amputations that week. The other patients could hear it too, and one girl in the corridor clinging to her mother to support was near to tears.
Good. Excellent. Pronunciation, this word is clinging.
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 Good. What is clinging? Does anyone know?
I'm sorry, what word? Clinging.
Clinging.
It's clinging by the teeth. How to say? I don't know. It's when you rub one teeth on another. It's clinging.
When you say that again,
It's some sound from your mouth that your teeth do. So when
I don't know that definition. Maybe you're right. I have not heard that before. But clinging, in this case, clinging to her mother for support, does not have to do with the sound. Anna, do you have an idea?
No.
That's okay. I wasn't sure if you knew. I wanted to give you a chance. Clinging means to hold tightly onto something. So it talks about a girl clinging to her mother. That means the girl's holding on to her mother really tightly, right? And it says she was near to tears. What does that mean, near to tears?
Almost crying.
Yeah, exactly. Tears are when you cry, right? So she was almost near to tears, so almost crying because she was so scared and so sad due to these screams coming from the amputations in the operating room. So this girl was clinging on to her mother, right, holding her tightly. She was scared. Let's see. So sometimes people also refer to clinging clothes. So if you're wearing a tight dress or a tight pair of pants, you can say that it's clinging to your body, which means it's tightly on your body. So holding tightly onto your skin. So those are two similar definitions of clinging. Does that word make sense to everyone? Clinging?
yes.
Okay. Here, I can put, let me see if I can find the...
I'm not understanding. They'd run out to anesthetic.
Sorry, you're not understanding what?
No, sorry.
Question? Do you have a question, Anna?
No.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I wasn't understanding, but am I?
You weren't understanding, but what?
run out, but I think now it's
I
fine.
figure
Oh,
out
okay,
myself.
good. All right. Well, here's a picture of a girl clinging to her mom's leg. So this is clinging to her leg, right? Holding tightly to her leg because she's scared. So that might give you a better idea. Anton, did you attach an image? What is this? Is this linked to an image or?
Yes, it's image. Two hand is holding.
Okay, so good. Yeah, clinging. Awesome. All right, so let's move on from that word. It seems like you guys all have that pretty well. Okay. I'll take this picture off so we can see our words. Okay, and what is this bolded word? Ksenia, could you say that word for me?
Anesthetic.
Good. Anna, could you say that word for me?
Anesthetic.
Good. Who knows what this word means?
It's painkiller for operation, for surgery.
Yeah, it's something that people, or I guess not people, but doctors or surgeons use in surgery. And why is it? It's not necessarily a painkiller. It does mean you're not feeling pain, but is it? How is it? How does it work?
It blocks the the chain in your nerves.
Good, yeah, so that we don't feel the pain despite the surgery still happening. In general anesthesia, this means that we become unconscious for our surgeries. Or you could do kind of a local anesthesia and maybe you're still awake. Maybe you're still conscious, but you just don't feel it. You're kind of numb to the pain. Good. So what do they say, Anton, what do they say about anesthesia in this paragraph, the one that you read?
Well, they ran out of anesthetic and
Yeah,
performing without it.
exactly. So imagine going through surgery without that. That's pretty scary. So that's why they had all those screens in the operating room. Awesome. All right, who's next? I think it's Anna. Anna, could you read the next paragraph on the bottom?
Natasha is only 16. Last week she missed her.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Last week she missed her last bus home, so she walked instead. 7 kilometers through the snow in temperatures of -40. She had no gloves. Now her hands are bandaged and hang down uselessly. She'll find out soon if they need to be amputated.
Oh my God, poor Nastya. Anna, what's going on with Nastya?
Sorry.
What's going on with Nastya? What happened to her?
She missed the bus
Mm-hmm.
and she had to walk a lot without gloves. And then uh, she had to amputate her hands.
Yeah, well, she didn't have to do it, but someone is going to have to do it because of the severe temperatures they endured on her walk home, right? So sad that she missed her bus because then she had to walk in the freezing minus or -40 temperatures. Excellent, Anna. Let's continue. Ksenia, could you read this next one?
She was far from the worst course. In one bed Nikolai Dobstov lay quietly staring at the ceiling. Underneath the sheets, blood was seeping through his bandages from where his feet and hands had been amputated the day before. He was a truck driver, he explained, with a good job delivering wood, and recently there'd been a lot of demand, so he'd set out to deliver a last load up country. The weather forecast, just -25 in Irkutsk, seemed to suggest that the journey was safe. It wasn't. His truck broke down miles from anywhere, and for 6 desperate hours he fought to repair the axle. He even greased his hand for protection and finally managed to get the truck going again. Somehow he found the strength to drive himself back and straight to hospital, but it was already too late.
Excellent. Wow, great reading, Ksenia. Good pace and good pronunciation. Awesome. Yeah, so that was a big paragraph, so thank you for reading that. Could you pronounce this word one more time?
I'm sorry, what?
Could you pronounce this word that I have highlighted again?
I don't see this word. Case.
Good. And this word?
Blood.
Good. Good self-correction. Blood. Excellent. Anna, what's going on in this this long paragraph? So he says that the girl who had to get her hands amputated is far from the worst case, and it talks about an even worse one. So tell me about Nikolai.
Okay. He had to amputate his hands. His hands because he what does sipping mean?
Oh, okay, good. Anton or Ksenia, could you explain what seeping means? If not, I can explain it.
Sipping can just we can see some drop of blood on his bandage. It's not very strong, but drops.
Exactly. You're exactly right. So just a little bit of liquid coming through. So in this case, seeping, he had a bandage on, or maybe a cloth or something, and just a tiny bit of blood was kind of coming through the bandages. Excuse me. Anna, do you need some help? Who knows what's happening to Nikolai?
Okay, I will try.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. He was hurt and he was bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to find help. And he couldn't.
What is his job?
He's a driver.
Good, yeah, he's a truck driver and he delivers wood. So what did he decide to do?
He decided to deliver.
Good, yeah, one last load of wood. Good.
And then his truck broke down.
Yeah.
And he had to wait 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And
What did he do for those 6 hours? Did he just
Mm,
sit in his car and wait, or what was he doing?
what he's doing?
Mhm.
Um, he. What does grease mean?
Oh, does anyone know what grease means?
It's fat.
Yeah, just put grease on your hands. Just put a kind of like fatty substance on your hands. But he was, as we can see here, trying to repair the axle, which is a piece of equipment on the car or truck. So he was trying to fix his truck that broke down despite how cold it was. Um,
And then
mhm,
he hurt his hands because of it.
mhm.
Okay, now I understand.
Good, yeah, excellent. So did he get his truck going again, or did he get stuck there?
No, it was working again,
Yeah, good.
but he was hurt. He hurt himself, right?
Yeah, he was very hurt. Um, Anton, where did he once he got the truck going again? Where did he go?
Straight to the hospital.
Yeah, he went straight to the hospital after 6 hours in the freezing cold, but it says it was already too late. All right, Anton, can you go ahead and read this slide?
I asked Nikolai what would happen to him now. He just laughed and struggled. Nikolai has no wife or family in Irkutsk, and invalidity benefit is a pittance.
Good.
Life in an institution may be the best he can hope for, and he almost certainly never work again.
Good. So he doesn't have a great future, um, but he did survive. Um, what? Let's see, Anna, could you read the definitions of these words on the bottom here?
Okay. Um, I don't know how to pronounce
Do your best.
pittance.
Pittance. Yeah.
Pittance. A very small or inadequate amount of money paid to someone as an allowance or wage.
Good. So he was paid a pittance, a very small amount of money. So although he wasn't working, because he couldn't work anymore, Nikolai, due to his illness and injuries, he still was paid a little bit of money. Good. And the last one?
Invalid benefit. Money paid to people by the government who are unable to work due to illness.
Good. So obviously he is unable to work due to his injuries. Good. Pronunciation and invalidity.
Invalidity.
Excellent.
Invalid.
Ksenia
Um,
and Anton, could you try that word?
Invalidity.
Excellent. Anton?
Invalidity.
Good. And Anna, to answer your question that you put on the thing, this is a shrug. Do you see the picture?
yes, thank you.
Right? These faces and these actions are all shrugs. So just laughed and kind of shrugged it off. Good. All right, let's keep going. We don't have a lot of time, and there's still more reading to go. You guys are doing great. Let's see. Oh, where are we? Oh, here. Okay. Let's see, who's next? Anna, will you read this slide, please?
Resilience. That incredible stoicism is everywhere. In East, at least, people seem simply to accept that winter is harsh, and this one especially so. It's is without doubt the cruelest Siberian winter in living memory. Yet outdoors, everything appears to function normally. Even school reopened as the temperature rose briefly to -25.
Good. So people just accept these winters here. I could not accept it. I would definitely need to move because I could not handle the harsh winter. Anna, do you know what harsh means? I have the definition right down here. You can
What?
see it. What
What
does harsh mean?
harsh?
Hmm?
Hard?
Yeah, it was difficult or rough. Good. And then could you read the definition of stoicism in the bottom?
Yes. Stoicism. The endurance of pain or hardship without a display of feelings and without complaint.
Yeah, so she says, the author says that people there have incredible stoicism because despite this hardship, no one really shows how hard it is or complains about it. Good. All right, Ksenia, will you please read?
The trams and buses are back on the roads, though everyone drives slowly to avoid skidding on the layers of ice. The main street bustles with people wrapped in layers against the cold, but even indoors the chill is uh, inescapable.
Excellent.
After his shift as a tram conductor, Natasha Filipova comes home to a freezing house.
Good. After his shift, or what's this say?
After her shift?
Good, good. Excellent. Thanks for reading that. So I have skidding here, and I have a picture of what skidding looks like. So skidding, people are avoiding skidding or kind of swerving on the layers of ice on the road. Good. Let's see, who's next? Is it Anton? Anton, go ahead.
She shows us the bedroom where ice has built up on the inside walls. She scrapes it off with her fingers, but that has little effect. One night, Natasha says she washed her hair before going to bed. When she woke up, it was frozen solid to the wall. The children are doing their homework in the bathroom, the only room warm enough to sit in. Natasha doesn't want to complain, but she is angry with the state and the architects for building inadequate houses.
Good, thanks, Anton. Yeah, so Natasha's hair gets frozen to the wall after going to bed with wet hair. I can't imagine that. That'd be pretty scary. And all the children, Anton, what room are they in?
I'm sorry.
What room are all the children in?
Obviously the bathroom.
Yeah, the bathroom, because it's the only one warm enough to sit in. Can you imagine that? Pretty scary. All right, Anna, go ahead.
The flats here are supposed to withstand up to -40 degrees. They don't. and her children are ill with coughs and colds. Natasha's anger is brief, and she seems faintly embarrassed about it. Siberians are to cold weather, used, used to cold weather, she explains. Here, she tells us, people prefer to rely on themselves and the knowledge that eventually spring will come.
Good, thanks, Anna. Um, so Siberians are used to this cold weather, I suppose, but they still look forward to this spring. So quickly, I have, good job reading, everyone. Excellent job. I have some quick comprehension questions. Ksenia, could you read this one?
What do we learn in the opening paragraph? A. The Earth arrived by bus. B. The Earth wasn't accustomed to such cold. C. The author wished he had another pair of gloves. The author ate some ice when he arrived.
Okay, so let's go back to the first paragraph. What do we learn?
She landed, so it's not Beth.
Say that again?
She landed, so she didn't come by bus. And she didn't eat ice. I don't.
So not D, good, and not A, so it's either B or C.
He had, I think it's B.
Good, excellent, yeah, you're exactly right. The author was not accustomed to the cold, right? Because he had so many pairs of gloves on. Good. All right, who's next? Anton, could you read number 2, please?
What is the local theory about vodka? A. If you drink too much, you may never walk again. B. If you don't drink it, you may lose your legs. C. If you drink it, you may suffer less from the cold. D. You shouldn't drink it if you are old.
All right, so which one do you remember? What many Siberians thought?
Maybe
Which one?
C.
Good, C, yeah. If you drink it, you may suffer less from the cold, but we found out that that's not actually true because people walking home drunk ended up in the snowdrifts and ended up with frostbite. But the local theory was that the alcohol would keep you warm and you would suffer less. Good. All right, Anna, next one. Please read.
Which sentence is true about the hospital? A. It's too warm inside. B. They don't have enough supplies and equipment. C. The staff didn't want to talk to the journalist. D. Most frostbite victims need to have operations.
Good. So a lot of these sounds correct, but do you remember which one is actually true?
I'm not sure. Either letter B or D.
Good. Yeah, we know it's not A because everyone was cold by the window, and we know it's not C. So B or D. Does anyone know, Ksenia or Anton, if it's B or D?
I think B because they ran out of
anesthetic.
Yes.
But also,
excellent.
It was written that the doctor was perform a lot of amputations.
Yes, the doctor had many amputations in the last 2 weeks, 200, but we don't know if that's the majority of the frostbite victims. Maybe there were more. So, B is correct. Yes, excellent job, Anna and Ksenia. They don't have enough supplies and equipment, right? They ran out of that very important anesthetic. All right, we have 2 more. Ksenia, go ahead.
What happened to Nikolai A. He almost lost his hand. B. He ignored the weather forecast. C. He had a problem with his engine. D. He had to help himself. D. He had to help himself.
Excellent. Yeah, his truck broke down and he had to help himself because there was no one around for miles. Good. And the last one. Let's see, Anton.
Houses in Irkutsk: A. Don't have separate bathrooms. B. Were built by private companies for profit. C. Are too cold if the temperature is less than 40 degrees by Celsius.
Oh, sorry.
And D. Cause health problems for their residents.
Good. What do you think?
I think it's C, but yes, it's C.
All right. What do you guys think, Anna, Ksenia? Do you agree?
D.
Yeah, I think it's D. It's caused health problems for the residents. Remember the last girl, I think it was Natasha, was complaining that the houses are not adequately built. I think they're too cold if the temperature is less than 20 degrees, right? We need it to be a lot warmer than that. So yeah, you're right, Ksenia. It's D. They cause health problems for their residents. And you're right too, Anton. They are too cold if the temperature is less than -40, but they're definitely too cold even if they're more than that. So that's why the answer is D. All right, you guys. Thanks for letting me go a couple minutes over so that we could finish the comprehension questions. I'm so impressed with you guys today. You guys did awesome reading. Good job on your pace and pronunciation today. Again, if you have any questions, message me, and please rate my class from 0 to 5 stars at the end. Tell me why you did like it or why you didn't like it. And I hope to see you guys again soon, all right?
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys. Good job.